I'm alive!
He's back.
Last episode, I was dying. This one, I'm still dying, but less dying, I guess.
Wow, come on, man. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
We do financial literacy stuffs.
With Travis Scott's on.
Travis. These are the olive Travis, for those of you who are not connoisseurs of the Travis Scotts.
Uninitiated.
Uninitiated. The uninitiated.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorites. They kind of go with everything, and I have pretty much a lot of olive/camo-colored clothing just because I'm sexy like that. So there you go.
Take that in, and you got the beads on.
The beads. These are prayer beads that I was gifted by a monk in Thailand.
Really?
After I paid an egregious amount of money to visit his temple.
That's so funny because it's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was just like, you know, damn it, I was gonna do the voice, but I restrained myself.
It was not. That was not a bait and switch.
Nah, you tried to set me up again.
That was not.
Chris,
why is that me?
Chris, give me an active reenactment. I can't do the reenactment if I can't do it in the actment.
No. What we got this week?
We got stuffs, financial literacy stuffs.
All the stuff.
We're going to talk about Airbnb CEO being the world's biggest hypocrite. He's worried about you, people.
Are y'all feeling lonely?
Are you sad?
Yeah.
Well, Airbnb CEO has a solution which also conveniently gives him a benefit to his business.
You don't say.
You don't say.
All right.
Then we're going to talk about office real estate. The, quote, looming crash will be so sharp and deep that capital economics think office values are unlikely to recover by 2040.
Until 2040, right? Yeah.
It says by 2040.
Yeah, by 2040.
So you just added the word until and try to correct me for no reason?
I said this on literally the last episode, but we can cover it again.
You didn't say by 2040.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I was dead. I was dead. Shut up.
I
was dead.
I did.
Did you really?
I really did.
That's how dead I was last episode.
It might have even been the same article.
I was gone. Dude, why'd you put it in the notes, bro? You setting me up?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, the half of the last episode, I was incoherent as shit.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he speaking more?
Why? I'm trying
Stop.
to wrap it up.
I was so drugged up. It was bad. Then we're going to move on to the debt crisis looming in commercial real estate. Yes, you talked about that last episode. You did. Okay?
Yes.
This is a different kind of context, okay?
Yeah, got it.
Then because I'm an asshole and I like to pile on things when they're already bad, we're going to talk about another big brand pulling out of Westfield, San Francisco.
Sad.
Sad. But funny.
San Francisco taking a lot of hit the last few months.
They need Batman.
I know. That was a post we had a little while back.
They need Batman. Then there's an article that came out. Close to home, Orange County. Home prices expected to fall by 11% as recession looms. From, I believe it was the chief economist of The Real Deal or somebody like that.
It was The Real Deal had posted it, right?
Yeah, they posted it. I don't know who's their economist. But nonetheless, because a lot of real estate agents in and around our region have been getting all up in my DMs, giving me all the feels, I had to say, hey, low key, King. Relax. Let me do my thing.
Well, you roll.
Okay?
Yeah.
You know, people don't say slow your roll anymore.
Really?
Yeah, you can't cross-reference different cunning linguist stuff.
Why?
From different generations.
I'm staying true to my generation.
Yeah, but you can't mix
I'm not
that
adopting this new shit.
high key. Go off, King.
Go off, King.
I've been doing it so much, I find myself in business conversations in the back.
I try to say it sometimes just to like float it to see if they catch on, and if they get it, and now I start to question them. Like, wait, how do you know that?
Yeah, how do you know that? How many 20-year-olds are you dating, bro?
Yeah, seriously.
What are you watching at night?
Seriously.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer reruns. We're going to move on to Silicon Valley office vacancy jumping to an astonishing 17% as tech firms shed floors.
That's going to be hard to bounce back from.
Oh, I had the bounce. Remember the bounce back? Remember that song from
Yeah,
the
of course.
90s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that?
I don't know. Odin can look it up, though.
Yeah, look that up, Arun. That seems like a valuable piece of information that nobody's ever going to care about.
Right.
Just look it up on a screen that I'm not looking at. Thank you very much. All right, then we're going to talk about returning to office and how COVID-19 and remote work reshaped the economy. Saied has some very, very interesting feedback from people up in his DMs.
Yeah, I can relate to. That's why I found it very interesting.
That was a villain move right there, setting me up for failure later on in the show. Good job.
Not at all.
No, don't
Hold
do that.
on. You'll see why it's relatable. Just stick to the end of the show, and you'll see why.
Okay, a little bit of business before pleasure there. I
There
like
you go.
that. All right, fair enough. We're going to move on to corporate bankruptcies, the world's empty office buildings again, but we're going to talk about a debt time bomb this context after we go through everything else. Obviously, there's a reason why we included it last. Talk about U.S. home prices posted the first annual decline since 2012 in April, which I talked about on the last show.
Mm-hmm. But it goes right into new home sales as well. So you can't talk about one without the other.
Alicia bounced back. That was not it.
Alicia? I don't even know.
That was Alicia. It was a dude, wasn't it?
I don't know. Wow. What are you calling Alicia? You calling Alicia a dude?
No, it was a dude. Alicia was not.
Big Sean. That wasn't Big Sean.
No, it was like a.
We'll figure it out.
No.
Not Juvenile.
Juvenile. That's the one.
Juvenile?
Yeah.
I don't remember this song then.
Let's play this. Come on.
No, we're not playing this.
Financial literacy and 90s hip hop. That's what we do on this show. Okay.
No, come on, let's get right into it.
Yeah, no, we're gonna.
Oh, I got 2 vetoes.
We're not playing Juvenile on the show.
You guys suck. Well, I came across this article from Fortune talking about Airbnb, and the CEO was speaking on it. So I thought, okay, let's get into it. I have long been critical of Airbnb, and I still am.
Okay.
For a lot of reasons. I think that the boom in getting people on their platform as people who are renting out their properties has come to an end of that era, and now it's going to come down to, I guess, really good properties, really good locations. But I think consumer discretionary spending is going to pull back. We've been saying that on the show for a while.
Spoken like a true realtor. Location, location, location.
That might be the most hurtful thing you ever said to me.
Why? Well, what's wrong with being called a realtor?
I am more than just a realtor, Saied.
What? Being a realtor is not enough for you?
No.
I think you still heard from Steve's comment.
Oh, that's right. We got to bring it up. Odun villain. See how he brought you see how he brought that up? So we had a nice gentleman come to the studio today.
Nice is a question mark.
No,
for me.
No, nice. He came after hours.
He seemed nice, but he seemed like he was saying some pretty mean shit.
We have some work that needs to be done around the studio. And he took a look, gave us a nice little quote. We're going to go with him because he's just a stand-up guy.
So this guy walks in, says hello to Saied, says hello to Rune. I'm in the studio space here.
He's never met Chris.
Never met me, never met him. And I'm digging in the back cabinets for some batteries, which I'm an idiot and left in the cameras. And, trying to be a responsible adult, man, taking care of business.
Yeah.
Guy walks in and goes, hello, hey there, big fella.
Call him big fella.
Now, mind you, this man is not small.
You're the Carl Winslow of podcasting now.
Oh, you were just waiting to use that.
Hey, big guy. He didn't call you big guy. He didn't call you big fella. He called you big guy.
He did. And he was what, 6'3"?
He's a big dude himself.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 2-something.
Easily.
Yeah, so. And then he made another comment about my beefiness on the way out.
On the way out. Hey, somebody tell the big guy to hit the gym. Damn.
Why are you laughing? Of all people.
Oh man!
Why?
He literally walked out.
Because
His
you
last
take pride in this.
comments.
You took pride in Odun being that guy in this podcast.
Oh man!
Great perspective is my thoughts on the article when I quoted it. He noted, this being the Airbnb CEO, how people no longer gather as much as they used to, for instance, by working remotely instead of in the office, by shopping on Amazon instead of in a mall, and by watching movies on Netflix instead of in theaters. Places like churches and bowling alleys are no longer what they were in terms of gathering, but we, quote, still need a community, end quote, he said. We need to be physically together. Now, I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Don't be a pervert. Try to refrain. We need to be physically together means interaction, human interaction.
I agree. There needs to be human interaction, but I just find it very convenient for him to bring this up now. How long has Amazon been around for? How long has Netflix been popular for?
He's trying to say that these things, while technologically benefiting society, have caused us to be more introverted and not go out as much. And I agree with that statement. I do.
I mean, maybe shopping on Amazon provides you more time to spend with your loved ones. So you don't have to spend it going out, shopping for things.
But normally when you were going out shopping for things, you would run into strangers and have conversations? You would go
Orange County's never really been that place, man. People kind of stay in their lane.
Okay, that seems elitist.
What, elitist?
You don't talk to somebody when you go to the grocery store? You don't talk to the guy who checks you out?
Say, hey, how you doing?
Guy, girl, whatever. You don't talk to that person that check you out?
Of course I say, hi, how you doing? How's your day going?
You don't have a conversation? I always have a conversation with the guy that the checker.
Yeah?
Yeah, hey, man, how you doing? How's your day going? Good. Oh, yeah, you too? Yeah, cool.
The checker? The cashier?
Whatever. They don't know your name. I know all the names, man.
You know all the names.
I know all the names.
I feel like you're lying here.
No, I know them all.
I highly doubt that.
I can give you any name in the world right now. You wouldn't believe me anyway, so I'm not going to go there. But I'll tell you right now, I know all of them, man. I've been there. I've been going there a long time because I do not use Amazon for groceries.
Well, hold on. First of all, I'm the one that's the biggest proponent for Airbnb. I love Airbnb. You're the one that doesn't like Airbnb.
Nope, do not like it.
So I'm all for this gathering and spending time with one another.
So I'm glad you said that because it shows me that you do like the devil. He went on to say that commercial real estate is struggling in the U.S. with the amount of troubled assets climbing to nearly $64 billion in the first quarter, according to a recent report from MSCI Real Assets. Nearly $155 billion of commercial property assets are potentially troubled, the report said, with offices hit by remote work and large layoffs in tech in particular, accounting for nearly $43 billion of potential distress, the most of any sector.
Yep.
Not new news if you've been listening to the show, but I always like to put out some numbers and perspectives. This coming from the CEO of Airbnb was an interesting start. So I decided to go further down the article because this is not what I thought I was going to get when I read the article.
Okay.
The average occupancy of U.S. office is just under 50%, according to data from the security provider Castle, spelled with a K.
I think they're in charge of the key cards, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's a good pull. How'd you know that?
Yeah. Because I cited it last week on the last episode. You weren't paying attention.
I was really drugged up that last episode.
You were.
I actually think some of this might just be a repeat of what we said last week.
No. This isn't. Some of this isn't, but this next part that you're getting into definitely is. That they don't expect the values to recover until the end of 2040.
That actually is the next article, but this one goes on to say the research from Capital Economics said in a report released Thursday that the 35% plunge in office values were forecast by the end of 2025, and then goes on to say unlikely to recover by 2024, likening the demand reduction to the experience of malls over the past 6 years and consumers leading into the online shopping.
Yeah.
So,
but you've made the case. You made the case before that things evolve over time, and
people find a way.
People will find a way. It'll get repositioned and reutilized differently.
So you know what I got from this article? To be honest with you,
what'd you get?
The CEO of Airbnb is trying to pimp out the idea of spending more time together with your family. You should go rent an Airbnb, and all this pain and bad stuff in the economy. It's all commercial real estate, but we're Airbnb. We're not commercial real estate.
So he's saying you need to spend more time with your family, right?
In Airbnbs, which are not commercial real estate,
which are not exactly.
And don't look over here at the commercial real estate.
Yeah, exactly. Don't look over here.
He did what we like to call in the professional community of dip, duck, dodge, dive, and dodge.
So he's basically saying, like, the fact that you all have to now go back into the office, you guys need to spend more time with your family, so come rent an Airbnb.
Pretty much, yeah, without saying it.
That's what he said.
Masterfully sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. No?
No.
You don't like it?
Not at all.
Well, let's move on a little bit then, shall we? Let's talk about another article from Fortune. The office real estate crash will be so sharp and deep that capital economists think that there won't be a recovery until 2024, as you covered in the previous show.
2040.
2040.
You said 2024.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Some of the text in the article seems very similar here. What the shit is going on?
So,
yeah,
the big issue here, right, is
I think you fouled this one up.
The big issue here has to do with the vacancies, right? With vacancies creeping up, this brings the values down for the commercial real estate properties, and this poses a big risk. And I don't know. I really don't know and don't see how they dodge the bullets that are coming their way.
Well, I mean, look. So malls took a big fall off, right? Not all malls, though.
I'm not saying just that, though. I'm talking about the debt that's due to mature over the next 3 years. What we've been talking about, on the show. If values are coming down by as much as they're saying that they're coming down, 35% plunge in office values. That's just now, right? With more layoffs around the corner, around the horizon, it's going to creep up to Fed's projection drop down to 4.1% by the end of the year. We predict that, unemployment creeps up at its highest peak after the recession is declared over, that we're predicting that will eventually come. So these vacancy numbers are only going to get higher. And what does that do to values then?
Let me walk you through a hypothetical.
Okay.
I was walking into my house today. Took my wife out for a little pre-podcast date night.
Wow.
Got a couple cocktails in her.
Did you really?
I'm much more attractive when you drink cocktails.
Well, I was home prepping for the show. You were having cocktails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. While I incoherently didn't remember the last episode,
Mm-hmm.
putting show notes in the episode that I thought were creative, and yet they might have been flashbacks. But my neighbor stopped me, and she was like, "Hey, Chris, hey." I was like, "Hey, what's up, hey?"
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Where's that recession you were talking about?"
Mm.
Been getting a lot of that lately. So I'm going to a pretty prominent economist and I had a back and forth on social media today, and I respect him immensely. So I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want people to think that there's any bad blood there. But he's of the perspective that the highest the 10-year Treasury is going to go about 4.75% by the end of the year, which is an increase, and that he thinks the labor market's too strong, and because the labor market's too strong, we won't enter a recession.
Mm.
And I didn't get back and forth in the debate of commercial real estate and things like the bond market, but I just look at all this stuff and I ask myself the question, why are people so confident that things won't go bad when there are so many warning signs flashing red? And this is just off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial real estate, all these loans are going to come due in the next year, next 2 years, next 3 years.
Right.
And you're going to see these properties have a real tough time being refinanced due to vacancy and rents going down.
Due to vacancy, rents going down. When they do come back and they refinance, banks will have a threshold and they won't have as big of an appetite to lend, at those previous LTVs, loan to values.
Well, keep in mind, too, in the banking sector, one of the challenges they're going to have is that as they get into this economy and liquidity is pulled out of the market, they're going to have to pick and choose. They're going to put their dollars, so the pickiness. But they're also going to get pressure from the regulators not to make loans that are going bad.
Of course.
And have loans that are going bad that are on their books, get off their books.
And why do they take what the regulators have to say, so importantly?
Well, to paraphrase it, every bank across the country that has FDIC insurance effectively rents their charter. They lease it, if you will. They are not entitled to run their business in perpetuity. They have to make sure they are in regulatory compliance at all times.
Yes.
And if they're over like $10 billion in size, they have a regulator there in their office at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And because of these challenges, these pressures, they are constantly under the spectrum, the microscope of the regulatory environment, making sure that they are doing all the things they need to do.
So what happens to a bank if, let's just say, the FDIC downgrades them?
Well, if they're downgraded, there's a lot of downgrades internally that you would not know as a public. When it gets really, really bad, the downgrades are public because it want to put the consumers on notice.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it typically doesn't get that bad. It's very rare. I mean, 3 banks that we've had fail out of 4,700 plus banks in the country.
Right.
It's not a big number. It's not a large percentage at all.
Right. But it does seem like some of the numbers that we've been reading off, we've been hitting like historic highs. We look at U.S. debt all-time high, government consumer debt all-time high.
These are also red flags.
Corporate debt all-time record high.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all things that are concerning. So who knows?
To me, it's like the steam coming out of all the cracks right now. And even though everything's still together and we're still on the train track and we're going down, and the locomotives seemingly going full speed on the tracks, there's steam coming up from the engine. And the engine's about ready to blow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about it like a crash or a massive failure, but there's going to be something that's going to pull these things back.
Yeah.
And here's what scares me even more than this. Is I believe there is a big probability that the next inflation number that comes out will have a 3 handle on it.
The next, which inflation, the CPI or the PCE? PCE comes out actually, what's the date today? Today's date is the 27th. PCE comes out on the 30th. So when this episode drops.
It's Friday, right?
Yeah, the day this episode drops.
Yeah. So I don't think that, so PCE is at what right now? I think
for core PCE was at 4.7%.
Then what was inflation at?
4%, right? Remember, it was predicted and it hit. Yeah.
I think you're gonna see. I think there's a strong probability given where the historic
core CPI was at 5.3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think just CPI in general, not core, will have a 3 handle on it now.
Oh, it'll okay.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a 3 handle on it.
Well, so that what's really interesting. So we talked about it recently, how Jerome Powell was in front of the House and the Senate banking committees, and I went back and I was rewatching some of the stuff that he was saying, and he was certain, more certain than he's ever been, almost as certain as him declaring like, "Look, we're not cutting rates this year." He was certain that housing was going to come down by the end of the year.
That's an interesting hand gesture you're making there. It's very
What?
You
said it was coming
it was pinkies
down.
up, and then no, you didn't. No, it wasn't this. You were very much.
Really? And I have a tendency to do this just from shooting a basketball shot. This finger always releases first off the ball.
That is actually not an accurate shot. You think it should be these two fingers that come off the ball.
The first finger that comes off the ball is this finger, and then these two are the last to come off.
No,
Christopher,
bro, shooting these two fingers stay on the ball.
these two are the last two to come off the ball, meaning you shoot the ball.
Okay, you don't just pop a pinky out while you're shooting. It just because that finger should be the
It rolls.
shortest
I
one.
can't believe this guy's trying to teach me how to shoot a basketball. You were just catching lobs. That's all you could do. Let me just throw you the lob. I was the one out there. Come on. Don't do this.
With a pinky out like that.
With pinky out like that.
Now we know I didn't make the NBA.
He still holds the record in Orange County.
Oh no, it got broken a couple years back.
Oh damn!
But I did. For a long time I held the record in Orange County.
And how old is the 12-year-old that broke your record?
Yeah, it did. It hurt a little bit.
I'm sure it did.
It was a great story. I actually just told this story to Adam the other day. So he was having a tough time before the game, and we went out to the backyard. We were shooting shots before his game, and he was missing all his shots, and he was getting really down and hard on himself. And I had to tell him, listen, hey, the important thing is that you're out here, that you care enough to practice before the game. I told him the story about the game where I broke the Orange County record, right?
Because that's going to make the kid feel better about missing shots.
No, it was. Because you want to know why? That game, when I broke the record, I missed my first 6 threes in a row.
So you were a selfish player in addition to a greedy player.
And then, look at this guy. We're such a villain.
6 threes in a row in a game?
And you kept shooting?
I mean, really?
Why did the coach not take you out?
Because what they teach you is the mentality is you're going to make your next shot. You can't even think about the first 6. I didn't realize I missed 6 during the game. I realized it after the fact. So
I'm pretty sure everybody else realized you missed 6.
I missed my first 6, and then I went on to make 9 in a row.
So you shot 15 shots from the field?
Better. Then I missed my 10th one, and then I made 2 more. So then I hit 11 in a game, and we ended up winning that game by 2.
What was your highest scoring game?
Like 45, 47, something like that.
That's cute.
Yeah.
62.
62. I'm good. It's good for you. I'm proud of you. I'm not. The story wasn't about that, but this is what I was trying to teach Adam.
About that now.
I was trying to teach Adam that, look, there's going to be some days that are like that, and you just got to go out there and just keep shooting. Don't think about the misses. Just keep trying. That's all that matters.
I'll remind you of that later.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What?
You know, some of your outros have been kind of missing.
My outros?
Yeah, but I want you to keep trying.
Okay.
Just keep shooting your shot.
I'll keep shooting my shot.
Yeah, we get to the end of the show and you're like, goodbye.
No,
it's very,
come on.
It's very sad.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you know.
Don't
true.
say that.
Actually, before we go on to the debt crisis looming in commercial real estate, we got a good video on this. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in to the first premiere we did on YouTube just last night. We actually typically record this show on Tuesday nights, but because we couldn't, because I was still recovering from being an idiot and sick. Yeah. We decided we were going to do something special, and we did a little premiere on YouTube, and we had a lot of people, a lot of guests tune in and interact and engage. I thought it was very cool.
I thought it was really cool. I had a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it more in the future.
Yeah,
I did, however,
you should try to be on time next time.
I did, however, had some people reach out and tell me they thought we misrepresented.
Misrepresented what?
They said when we put on the stories that the Higher Standard live.
Yeah,
so
that was my bad. That was my bad. Yeah.
So they thought we were recording a live episode where instead it was a premiere.
Which we can do. I guess if we really wanted to, we could.
Yeah.
Arun has all the equipment back there to do it and stream it straight. Although there is one caveat. So the same thing with the premiere where you get a 1080p quality like video because everybody's streaming it at the same time.
Yeah.
You would only get a 1080p on the upload stream. You wouldn't get a 4K version of it later.
1080p is not bad. That's what movies are shot in, so it's okay. I know it's not the 4K. Yeah, 1080 is what movies are shot in.
It used to be shot in like the 1970s, bro.
No, still.
No, man.
Yeah, man. Casey says it all the time.
Casey, maybe, but in order to even shoot for like Amazon and stuff like that, Amazon on Netflix, there's like camera requirements. They'll only take video shot from certain cameras now.
Really?
Yeah, no, and most of them are 4K minimums.
Okay, well, Odin look that up. Maybe that information.
You ain't got to look that up, bro.
Maybe it's
I'm facts. All facts.
Maybe it's a little outdated.
No cap. No, it is outdated.
I'm not saying that they're shot in 4K or 1080p, but I'm saying what you see at the movie theaters is 1080.
Oh yeah, that maybe depending on the screen. Yeah, that's true.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, the quality. Yeah, in the movie theaters.
Right.
That's why most people don't go to movie theaters anymore.
I love the movie, dude. Both movie theaters by my house closed.
Yeah.
So sad, man.
Ooh, we could go right to the San Francisco article on that one.
I mean,
too.
that's what I was trying to do.
You want to go there?
Yeah.
I don't think Arun was ready, but let's skip the debt looming crisis thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go straight to this. So before we go to the article, my quote here was San Francisco exodus continues. This is from NBC in the Bay Area. But can you make that map bigger, Arun?
Please.
So this map, please. Yeah, there you go. Downtown San Francisco business exodus.
Wow.
I saw this and I was like, shit, this is way worse than we thought it was. Athleta, Banana Republic, The Real, Amazon Go, DSW, the shoe store, H&M, T-Mobile, Marshalls, Disney, Uniqlo, CB2, Old Navy, The Container Store, Anthropologie, Abercrombie & Fitch, Nordstrom Rack, Saks Off Fifth, Office Depot, and now Cinemark, the movie theater.
Crate & Barrel, CB2.
I didn't want to cover all of them, but yeah, Old Navy.
Yeah, Old Navy.
I mean, damn.
God damn.
So, and keep in mind, Westfield is the manager of that property, right? The property manager, and they're actually pulling out themselves as the manager because of the problems that they're having now. So let's play the video. The video is equally as disturbing. It sounds a lot like the last one we played about San Francisco, but obviously this is a different exit by a different entity.
We should really ask Arun, too, what his take on this, given that out of the three of us, he's the only one here that's lived there.
Oh, yeah. Let's play it first, and then we'll hear what you have to say.
Watching a movie inside the Century Theaters at the Westfield Mall in San Francisco will soon be a thing of the past. The movie theater is closing its doors. Cinemark confirmed the move Wednesday, saying it has decided to permanently close this location, quote, before the conclusion of its lease term following a comprehensive review of local business conditions. The lease was reportedly expiring this September. Century Theaters joins a bunch of businesses who've also announced they're leaving the area or have already left. Take a look at the map.
All right, you can stop it there. Following a comprehensive review of our relationship, Saied, I've decided to leave the area. You couldn't say I'm leaving more ambiguously if you tried.
So I know you said earlier that who even goes to the movie theater anymore.
I love the movies. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I know. So I
love the movies.
I know that you're a big movie buff guy. You like movies.
I am a big movie buff guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That is correct.
See what I did there? Compliments.
It was inadvertent, but it was a Freudian slip. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Those are your true emotions.
Pun intended.
Everything else you said was just you attempting to be sarcastic, and obviously you don't do a very good job of it. But now that your real feelings come out, I forgive you.
So
because I have accepted Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, into my life.
Yeah, I'm glad you do.
I've been watching The Righteous Gemstones a lot on HBO.
So I mean, how does that make you feel? That has Carter been to the movie theater yet?
Yeah, no, dude. Oh, I told you the story on the show, but the only movie we ever took him to, we were at Disneyland. We were on that trip to Florida. It was the last day, and the movie Strange World came out.
Oh, that's right.
And then when there's people walking out, people were freaking out, and he did so great. He watched the whole movie, and he's too young to really get the underlying like undertones and the political drama that people are pulling their kids out for and everything else. But right. I will say, I was really excited for that Elemental movie that came out because I saw the previews for it, and similarly to this. And we've watched Strange World 1,000 times at home with him, and like I'm all good. Like I don't care. Like all that other bullshit, like whatever. If my son asks me questions, we'll answer them. You know.
Right.
Elemental apparently did really, really bad, even worse than Strange World because of the similar issues that Disney's been dealing with and some of like the woke culture and everything else that they're trying to be accepting of. And just people aren't really getting it. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, look, I really want to take my son to see movies. Mm-hmm. But like, should I take him out to premieres or should I wait? Like, at what point do I start getting concerned that some of the content in these movies are aimed at an older agenda than just kids having a good time?
I mean, that's always gonna be. We didn't take the kids to watch that or the I think the Buzz Lightyear movie. There was something there too we had heard. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it until afterward. I probably would have taken.
So I mean, for me personally, I refuse to go to the movie theater opening weekend anyways because of some of the crazies out there.
So yeah, there you go. And that robs the whole experience of what used to be going. Like, You used to go to movie theater. It used to be like a thing, man. And I'm not gonna lie. For me, going to the movie theater got even better when you had like lay down seat options and like full seats that have your feet, roll out. Because I'm so tall,
Yeah.
my knees would always hit the person in front of me. And always be
Like the
uncomfortable.
luxury movie theaters, right?
Yeah, like the little bit like the luxury seating movie theaters, and you can reserve your seat in advance. You don't have to worry about getting it. Those kind of things made going to the movie theater so much easier. I was like, this is dope. Like I can do this for a long time.
Right.
And like when they had like service in the movie theater, they don't do it anymore.
Right. But so like this really makes me sad because this kind of goes along with what the Airbnb CEO was saying. This is one of those things that we should be doing together as a community, right? I was never into the Marvel movies when they were at their height,
Which makes you weird.
which makes me I wasn't into. But Odin actually got me into it after the fact during the pandemic, and I can only imagine what those movie theaters were probably like.
Bro, they'd be packed, man. People would be crying. Avengers Endgame, which I won't spoil, people were crying their ass off.
I mean,
it was grown-ass adults, men.
That was one of the greatest movies ever put together. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. And I was like, I can't imagine what this would have been like at the movie theater.
So for you, it's Avengers Endgame, then Bloodsport? Is that the top two?
I love Bloodsport. What is your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? Oh, man. Just one category, or just all time?
I guess all time. Yeah. I got a couple, but
I mean, I'm a big fan of Fight Club because when I first saw the movie, I didn't see the ending, and it just tripped me out.
Yeah.
Fight Club was a great movie. I like the artistry in that. I like a lot of Wes Anderson stuff, but in particularly the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay.
I think just the cinematography, the colors, the vibe.
I'll be honest, I haven't watched this, so I'll put that on my list to watch.
I love that. You'll like that just because I think it's Raphael or Ralph Fiennes, whatever his name is.
Okay.
Amazing actor, and he does such an amazing job in that movie. But there's so many that I like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all movies for the most part, but
right. My personal favorites are, let's see, Gladiators up there, right?
Yeah.
Love the movie Blow with Johnny Depp.
Blow is one of my favorites too. Top three for sure.
Just that father component, father-son component, and him with his daughter. Like it gets me every time. Every time I watch it,
that movie got me emotional at the end.
Gets me really, really emotional, especially the little voice. I don't want to kill it for anybody. I mean, you have to have seen it by now. But the voice recording he sends to his dad like crushes me every time.
Yeah.
And then Ocean's 11, baby.
Over that Goodfellas all day long.
Over that, I mean, just the comedy component of Ocean's 11, you can't beat that.
I thought Ocean's 11 was a little cliche.
What?
Yeah. I know I have the star power behind it, but Goodfellas to me will always be.
Goodfellas is great. I'm not gonna argue.
Goodfellas was
Ray Dalio, right? Is in there?
God damn it!
No, is he not?
You said Ray Dalio?
Is it not his name? Is that not his name?
Really? We gonna do this?
Oh, that's right. What's his name? God damn, Ray something. That's right, Ray Dalio from Principles. Ray Liotta.
As Henry Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ray Dalio.
Yeah, or Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio wishes he was in that movie.
They always called us the Principals.
Yeah.
That guy, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, no, I guess he passed away.
I know.
Shocker.
Rolling over in his grave right
San
now.
Francisco is turning into a really weird place. My wife and I again spoke about it, and I just if this continues, there was video we saw on the news, and I watch a lot of the Bay Area news, where people were literally running the stores, grabbing as much as they could, and leaving in stolen cars, and like gunning out of the parking lot.
I've heard stories. I mean, even this isn't just recent. Back in the day when Odin used to live there. Odin, how many years ago did you live there?
We're in 2023, 2015, 2016. So
Yeah,
7, 8 years ago.
I remember when he said that sounding sad. You hear that? He misses it.
He did.
People would park their cars on the street, windows down, signs on their car saying nothing in the car.
They still do that. Now they do. Some of them even carry like broken glass with them, and they put it in the seat to make it look like somebody already broke the window.
But then you got to clean it up when you go drive it the next day. That's
better than having someone break your car and
I guess.
Yeah,
God damn.
that whole concept to me was crazy in the first place.
If it's that bad,
Yeah.
Move out of there.
Or don't drive.
Or don't drive. That's right.
Just don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's so. I think people who haven't been there don't understand. It's there's a lot of hills in San Francisco.
I get that. Uber. $40 drive.
Speaking
is
like an
worth.
elitist, man. Jesus.
All I'm saying is, man, $40 drive is better than $180 to fix your window.
100%. I agree.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Ron, do you miss it?
I do. I love the city life. No car, just walk everywhere.
See?
Uber everywhere. Everything's within a 1.5 mile, 2 mile walk.
I'm not gonna take that bait. I'm not gonna do that.
Come on, man.
Nope.
It's a quick walk.
I'm a respectful individual, and I respect your life choices.
Scott.
Damn.
The fact that he even
Steve
says
did
that.
a number to you tonight.
You made some big choices, my friend, and I
Me or
respect
you,
that.
big boy?
Bro, he was. I swear to God, you couldn't have prepped him because he was so sincere when he saw me. He was like, "Oh shit, what's up, big fella?"
Yeah, he didn't get it. Yeah.
He was just completely thrown off.
All right.
And I'm like, "You're bigger than me, motherfucker! What the fuck?"
He should have called him out.
Let me stick my finger in your belly button and check the difference. Like a dipstick.
Yeah,
You got to figure
exactly.
out where the moisture comes off.
Oh, come on, man. So what's going on with this article from Bloomberg?
The debt crisis looming in commercial real estate. I know we've been harping on this a lot the last show and this show, but I think people need to understand how important this is. Every recessionary economy has a catalyst. I truly think that the general aggregate perspective so far is that this is likely to be it. Not bank failure, surprisingly, which shocks me given where we were on March 10th. I think this consensus now, this is going to be our subprime crisis. This is going to be our catalyst, which kicks our recession into full swing. Arun, give it a play with that sexy warm-up. Let's talk about the debt crisis looming in commercial real estate from Bloomberg.
Big take, we're breaking down how higher interest rates are influencing property values, the commercial real estate market, and it is obviously a story that so many are interested right now. Natalie Wong and John Gittleson co-authoring The Big Take and joining us with some more perspective. Thanks both for being here. And you heard those comments from Chair Powell. In your piece, John, I'll start with you. You dive into the numbers on how much commercial debt is coming due, how it's going to hit. What can you tell us about the numbers right now?
Big numbers. Depending on your source, the Mortgage Bankers Association says over the next 2 years in the U.S. alone, $1.4 trillion of debt coming due. Much of that won't be a problem, but there's a lot of it that's office debt. And that will be harder to refinance because A, the cost of borrowing is up, and B, the value of those buildings are down. And so people are going to have to pay a lot of money or decide not worth it to refinance these places.
So are we starting to see transactions normalize or any hint, Natalie, that that's going to happen? Because right now we're stuck in a kind of transactional stalemate, right? Sellers don't want to let go at much lower prices, and buyers are having to finance purchases at much higher interest rates.
Right. I mean, we've been stuck for quite some time now. Over the past few years, especially in the office sector, sellers and buyers just weren't agreeing on what price to sell at. But now we're at a tipping point, which John mentioned. There's $1.4 trillion of commercial real estate debt coming due in the next 18 months. And a lot of banks and lenders and owners have to decide exactly what to do and where values stand. But we're still at a point now where transactions haven't necessarily been at full force because...
All right, Arun, you can stop it there. And I have got a shit ton to say.
I love to hear it.
So the reason why I liked this and I wanted to play up to that part was because there's a lot of corollaries to the single-family market.
Okay.
A lot of people have been saying, Chris, where's this correction you've been talking about? Where is this? You said July. And I think we're already seeing it. I think we were right on the money with July. I think the West Coast is getting impacted, obviously, more than other places. But I understand people that are not impacted, the Midwest, the South, which we covered in previous episodes, and even parts of the East Coast, for that matter, them saying, well, we're not seeing it here. It's different here. And there's pockets all over the country, even on the West Coast, where it's not being impacted.
Right.
What they're saying here is that there's a stalemate in the commercial real estate space. Sellers don't want to sell at the values that they're selling. Buyers don't want to buy at the values that sellers. So there's a stalemate. Not too dissimilar to the stalemate that's happening in the single-family world right now, where people have really low rates. They don't want to sell, and if they do sell, they want to sell way over value. They want to sell at higher dollar amounts. Well, guess what? Buyers don't want to do that because now their cost of buying, because interest rates have gone up, is so much higher. So we're at the stalemate, and people have chosen largely not to sell. So you've seen transactional volume come down.
Yep.
And just like the commercial real estate world where all this debt is coming due now, the commercial real estate world has a catalyst that they have adjustable rate mortgages, effectively, or loans that come due over 3, 5, 7 years or so, and they have all this money to come and due. So if you got a loan 3, 5, or 7 years ago and it's coming due, that's where that 1 point something whatever trillion dollars comes from.
Right.
In the single family world, you don't have that, as most people locked in a 30-year fixed rate at super historical rate lows. But what you do have is the same ticking time bomb of consumer debt, $1 trillion of it, the highest we've ever had, non-household debt at highest levels we've ever seen, right behind it. And that will be the catalyst for the single family side that may break that, maybe at the same time, maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after, we don't know.
Yeah.
But that's why we're so confident that home values will effectively come down when we break that barrier.
Right. Household debt now at 17 trillion, consumer credit card debt at $1,988,988,000,000.
That's a lot of trillions.
That's a lot of millions.
A lot of billions.
A lot of billions.
To get to a trillions.
Yeah, a lot of somebody.
18 trillions.
A lot more millions.
We should be mathematicus.
That's what we do. But so this report from Bloomberg here says that apartment buildings also are set to come down. Values are set to come down 21%. And that part I don't really understand or agree with.
There was an article I was going to put in the show notes, I didn't, about a guy who was really, really big in office buildings.
Okay.
And he got, I don't know why they interviewed him on CNBC, but he gets on the CNBC and he's all upright in his chair. He's professional. He's not dressed like an asshole like I am. He's in a suit and a tie, and he looks in the camera and he's focused and he goes, there's a lot of people out there that are talking about commercial real estate, and as an expert, I can tell you that not all commercial real estate is equal. And I'm like, okay, well, so far he's right.
I'm on board.
And he goes, as an investor in office space, I got to tell you, I'm more worried about multifamily apartment complexes because I think that's a ticking time bomb. And I'm like, so tell me you own a lot of office space without telling me a lot. Look over there, kids.
Yeah.
But if you look here, it says office is down -27%, apartment buildings down -21%.
I mean, is that
malls down 18%?
Is that
there's no world where malls are going to be lower in value declines than apartment buildings. I mean, there's no way.
There's no world, right? And I mean, is some of this have anything to do with a lot more of the multifamily properties that will be receiving their certificate of occupancies and coming online over the next, give it 6 months to 12 months.
Particularly as it relates to high-end apartment buildings built in the South and the Sun Belt states, the speculation is that area, so I'll call it from like California to Arizona, Nevada, Texas, up through all the way to Florida, and maybe even a little bit north of Florida if you want to get into Atlanta and some of those areas. But all these high-end multifamily apartments coming due. The supposition is that their vacancy will increase and valuations will go down. But if you're in rent-controlled areas, I really don't see this being a big deal. That's largely California. There's only 5 real rent-control states in the country. But I don't see apartment buildings going down. I don't see rent going down that dramatically unless there's a significant break.
Right.
I'm talking a recession, office values going down, home values going down. Unless that happens, I don't see apartment building values going down. And we've said many, many, many times on the show that we do expect home values to go down. We expect a correction, not a crash. Crash being 20% or more.
Right.
Keep in mind, if our speculation is, well, my speculation, I won't give you credit for it because you didn't agree or disagree. If we see a 3% inflation number, don't shake your head at me, sugar. Hold my hand, baby. Come on now.
Go for it.
Come on now.
No, go for it.
When I call you sugar, you're supposed to respond. Be affectionate. Come on.
No, let's go.
Hold his hand.
Hold my hand, sugar.
No, let's go.
No?
No.
Don't flinch, Chris. Don't give up.
That's right.
I'm not giving up. I'm just going to wait for him to appreciate the compliment. So.
Lost train of thought.
No, I didn't. I'm just trying to say, if we think inflation is going to come in at 3% as far as a handle goes, right? The Fed funds target rate that Bernanke put in place,
but we don't care.
2 to 3%.
But we don't care about the headline figure. They've repeatedly said,
No,
I care about core inflation.
That's fine. But if the headline figure is 3% handle, and let's say they increase interest rates 25 basis points, okay? It's going to push that down incrementally further, correct? Maybe not anywhere near the trajectory, but maybe incrementally further, right? If that happens, now let's say you're in the mid 3% range for headline, not core, but you're going down the trajectory. You got to have rent and rent equivalent come down.
They will. By the end of the year, that will come down.
Okay, so home prices and rents coming down a little bit. Rents coming down a little bit will impact apartment buildings. 21%, I don't see that.
Right.
20% in value as in homes, I don't see that. 10%, yeah, sure, okay.
Mm-hmm.
15%, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, so this whole number of the apartment building seems overstated to me, just way out the gate. But I don't think you're going to have the massive correction in values, and that really honestly scares me. Because here's what I'm thinking: if you talk about the average first-time home buyer trying to get in,
yes,
it is incomprehensibly expensive for someone to buy a home now. I think it's like 7x the average earnings in the country in order to buy a home.
Yep.
I mean that's insanity.
It is.
And yet people are saying, well, home values got to go up. They got to go up. And it blows my mind people aren't worried about affordability. Affordability is a problem. And if you're not worried about it for you, worry about it for your kids, man.
Right.
How are they going to buy a home? Unless you give them yours or you give them that opportunity. You're wealthy enough to do that, and I hope we all are.
Right.
Our kids might not be able to afford a home unless there's a correction at some point in time that's big. So why not endure it now and save them and this next generation the opportunity and the pain of having to rent in perpetuity?
Right.
It's not a bad thing to have a bit of a reset.
Not at all.
You know? And to all the realtors in my DMs saying like, hey, I'm in Orange County. I know you, bro. Home values here aren't going down. You don't know what you're talking about. I present to you this article from The Real Deal. Orange County home prices expected to fall by 11% as recession looms.
Mm-hmm. 11%.
11.
We know this is affecting the West Coast more so than anywhere else
So
across the
far,
country.
but it will spread.
Yes.
It will spread. Now, 11% was an interesting number, particularly because it lines right with where we said the correction would be.
10 to 15%.
So, of course, I'm a braggadocious, arrogant asshole who decided to repost this on my Instagram. But I think, oh, Arun can make it bigger. That was very fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Despite hashtag Los Angeles' controversial transfer tax sending buyer interest to the city's neighbor to the south, hashtag Orange County, someone is being a little hashtag hoary, home prices are expected to tumble by 11% in the next 6 months.
Believe it.
6 months, kids, by the end of the year, which aligns with exactly what Saied and I have been calling. That's why I called you sugar. You're sweet as hell tonight, pie.
10 to 15% by the end of the year. A lot of people have been asking me, like, what's going on? You guys said this, and I've passed that message on to other people, and they pulled themselves out of the market. You guys are assholes. I'm like, God damn.
Well, I like being an asshole, but I like being a correct asshole.
Right.
Chapman University economists predicted a mild national hashtag recession. The hoariness continues. In the second half of the year, driving down the coastal community's year-end local median sales price to $885,000.
Yeah.
An 11% drop from $993,000 currently in June, and 19% off the 1.1 million high of spring of 2022. 1.1 million average home price in 2022. Good God, man.
I'm not going to, there's no way I'm going to be able to help my kids out to buy a house.
There's also like 6,000 more hashtags at the end of this.
What's up with the hashtags? Did those really convert?
According to YouTube's algorithm and the stuff they've been saying, they say 3 to 4 of them will help you convert. But honestly, man, nobody really knows. Like Ryan Magan, that dude who does all the text on the screen.
Oh, the captions.
The captions and all that stuff. He kind of really pioneered that.
Yeah.
He's always believed in not using them, and he has like a lot of posts that he's pushed showing no hashtags. And his explanation has always been like, when you put up hashtags, the algorithm puts you in niches. When you don't put up hashtags, it just spreads like wildfire if you can get the right amount of eyes on it.
Right.
I wouldn't know because I really haven't had a whole lot go viral, but that's allegedly the rumor.
Right.
So he's like, why would you automatically give social media's algorithm a way to correlate and file your content?
Yeah.
Have them show it to as many people as possible.
That would be my ideology. Yeah, that's what I would think.
But the other argument is that you show it to people who are interested in that hashtag and that topic, and they typically respond to it better. Anything interesting in the comments, Arun?
Just realtors saying it's a lie.
Let's read some of them. That's my favorite type of shit. Let's
convenient.
go. Let's go. What do you got for me?
Give me one.
Give me some of that bang bang.
Buyer demand, okay, not quite. Buyer demand in OC remains very strong, resulting in multiple offers and upward pressure on closing prices. Median sale price so far in June is $1,040,000, not $993,000 as reported. If inventory levels remain the same the second half of the year, will likely see prices hold firm, and if rates drop, there will be even more buyer demand, further driving up prices.
Oh, stop right there. Go back up, Arun.
I saw the CEO of Compass.
Anthony Buyer _real estate. Let me explain something to
I
you.
think it's Anthony.
I think it's
But there's
Anthony
no H.
Bitar.
It's no
Anthony,
Anthony.
There's no H there.
and
Click on his
Tony-
profile. There you go. Let's get in there. Anthony. His name is Anthony Bitar, you racist fucks.
Anthony Bitar.
There's
right.
no H.
Yeah, realtor.
Why are you trying to put everybody into a box, man? It's not.
He's a
All right.
proud husband and father, man. Give him his.
So
give
he
him
looks like what? Maybe in his late 30s, mid 30s at best.
We're not gonna assume. I don't
No,
know.
no. Just I mean, what do you think? How do you think
Sure.
he is?
Yeah.
Beautiful family.
Yeah.
14 years. Some of the most economic prosperous times ever, right?
Mhm.
He probably hasn't experienced a recessionary economy.
Right.
Okay, and then he cites that as long as supply is there, right? If inventory levels remain the same, second half of the year, demand will still be high because supply is there. He's completely not acknowledging the fact that they're talking about a recession.
Mm-hmm.
The impacts of recession are affordability. People aren't making as much. They're not willing to spend as much, and rates are going higher.
Right.
And that affordability will drive this. Again, another realtor who does not want to acknowledge the impacts of equilibrium price theory.
Right. Exactly.
Let's go to
So
another
what
comment.
what doesn't go well for him? So the Case-Shiller index just came out, right?
Yeah. And, I mean, he's totally ignoring the fact that these are Chapman economists. What does Case-Shiller have to say?
Home prices posted their first year-over-year decline in 11 years.
I talked to that in the last show.
As of April, right? So that
I let off
that-
the last show with that.
that doesn't go well for him, right?
Just ignoring that? Just going
no,
right
but
through that?
no,
Nope,
I'm referencing it. Jeez,
Didn't
dude.
feel like you were?
Because in addition to that, new home sales report came out. That came out today.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah. Okay, that's right. You added this because it had new home sales in it.
That's why I added
You did
it.
tell me that before the show.
I did tell you that, and you wanted to be an asshole, but it's okay.
I didn't want to be an asshole. I'm a forgetful asshole. Is there a difference?
So
If my
generally,
maliciousness is not intentional. Is that okay?
so here's the problem with that.
You're just
right?
ignoring everything tonight.
The highest prices of the year are generally get reported and put on the market in the summertime,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just off seasonality. Lowest prices are usually in fall and winter. So that is a big cause for concern if the Case-Shiller is reporting a decline, right?
Yep.
But what buyers are showing that they're more interested in is affordability. Based on this new sales report, check this out. Month over month, they're up 12.2%. Year over year, up 20%. Okay? The price distribution at new homes that were sold in the new home sales data, you see an increasing share of new homes sold under $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all that's affordable right now.
Mhm.
So these upticks that you're seeing on this report, obviously, people can't afford these homes.
And those $300,000 homes are going to get less affordable as rates rise.
Right. And this is, national averages.
Mhm.
So this is definitely not state of California.
And that's where a lot of people get this stuff wrong is they're trying to be very microeconomic driven. They're looking at their local economies and they're saying that our economy isn't responding that way. Instead of reading the tea leaves and reading so much of the things that are macroeconomic factors that would and will likely impact them,
Right.
they're just in complete denial that those things will come to roost in their area, in their neighborhood.
Right. So, and as far as the supply goes, for new homes, they have about 7.5 months of supply.
Mhm.
That's if people were to continue to buy at the pace that they're buying, they have 7.5 months of supply for new home sales, and only 3 months of supply for existing home sales.
And to point that out there, okay, a healthy amount is about 6 months.
Yes.
So if you got more than healthy amount in new home sales,
Mm-hmm.
and you got about half that in existing home sales,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of do the math that we're hitting inflection points now,
Yes.
right? And keep in mind, new home sales were up because people didn't have to bid against other people. They
Mm-hmm.
could put their name on a waiting list, they could put their money down, and they could wait for their home to be built, and they generally were paying the builder.
Right.
It wasn't like this bidding process where they're outbidding other people for a home.
Right.
They got in, they got an offer, the builder needed the money, they committed, and they could go that route without the competition.
Right.
So do
I'm
you
trying
want
to think about my segue to this because we did have somebody that sent in a question about buying a home and wrapping it up under an LLC.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That I did promise.
That was Alex, right?
Yes, it was Alex.
All right.
I did promise this listener that we would cover it. So I figured we get into it.
Yeah, bang it out, brother.
Hold on, can you pull it up? I believe I put it in the show notes, please. Down towards the bottom here.
You know, I feel, again, with the... Arun, before we go here, what's going on tonight? Why are you off?
Why are you off, King?
No, I mean, you're doing your thing. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not... The show's good.
Uh-huh.
I just don't feel the engagement from you right now. I feel like your algorithm's broken.
No, come on.
What's going on?
I'm trying to adjust.
You tired?
No, you were tired last episode.
I was very tired last episode. I'm still very tired this episode. I was trying to avoid coughing this whole time, but...
No, not at all. But this from our boy Alex.
Right back on topic. Arun, you see what I'm talking about here?
Damn.
Right?
I'm trying to get back on top. What's wrong with
Play
that?
with me a little bit,
mad?
man.
Play with you a little bit.
Like, you're not giving me anything right now. It's all like, let's back to the show, folks.
Hold his hand. Hold his hand.
Yeah, like, I don't, you don't need
You want to hold my hand? Hold my hand.
Yes, I do.
Hold my hand.
Now read it.
All right, here we go. Also, you mentioned in the previous episode, you guys talked about mansion owners purchasing their single family properties under an LLC to avoid a mansion tax. Is there any benefit or advantage for someone looking to buy their first home under an LLC? Also, what would really be the cons? Ideally, the first home we buy isn't our forever home, but we end up renting it. I think he means we'll end up renting it out eventually. So I know we've talked about it before on previous episodes. A lot of the savvy real estate investors, what they like to do is wrap up each one of their investment properties under a separate LLC to give them some layer of protection, right?
Okay, so, wow, I can see now that we've made some comments in previous shows that may have been confusing, and I apologize. Yes. I apologize for that, and I think that sometimes we can go a little fast, and we might kind of conflate issues a little bit. Mm-hmm. So this is not on you. This is on us. So not all lenders, as a matter of fact, the overwhelming majority of lenders will not allow you to borrow an entity outside of like a trust.
Yes.
And usually it's a living trust only, a revocable trust.
Especially for your primary residence.
Right. Excuse me. And the reason why is that is generally not considered a commercial purpose. And for the purposes of getting loans, anything 1 to 4 units is generally considered, for the purposes of getting a loan at least anyway, single-family residences. Even though it's a multi-unit of 2 units, 3 units, or 4 units, that's an income-producing property, they are still financed vis-a-vis traditional financing for the same way you would get your home, which means it's typically challenging to get somebody who will make you a loan in an LLC. Now, community banks, smaller lenders, regional banks, or lenders who specialize in this, they may allow you to put it into an LLC and for you to finance it that way. And if you can, that's great. But most people don't own their primary residence in an LLC.
So to just go back a little bit on that, for people that are going to get traditional loans on, let's say, a 4-unit because it is considered a single-family residence,
mm-hmm.
right? They're going to have to show proof of income enough to support that property like they would their primary residence.
Right. And you can get into a program where you put a lot less down, like 3.5% down if you qualify for some of those programs. I've never recommended that because you need the properties to cash flow. But
that income that you're receiving from those other units to apply towards mortgage, they won't look at it that way as an investment property.
A traditional lender will not. There are other lenders out there who will look at the income producing potential. But generally speaking, the trade-off for a lender who looks at that is a higher rate.
You have to go find a lender that will do that.
And there's a lot of creative lenders out there who are in that space.
Yes.
Now, if you're a wealthy individual, if you belong to a private bank and you have assets under management at their wealth advisory firm, or you've got a lot of money with them or a lot of loans with them, you're like Chase's private bank, or you're just a high-profile person,
or you've developed a relationship with a community bank that we've talked about before.
Right. Then getting them to finance in an LLC for you is not so much of a problem. Now, let me explain why. Typically speaking, most people that are your big box lenders, your Wells, your Chase, your B of A, they are going to finance your property to agency guidelines, Freddie, Mac, Fannie Mae, because they want to sell your loan in the secondary market. If they ever have the opportunity, they'll consider doing that, or they'll keep it in portfolio, just based on how they want to manage their balance sheet. But they'll underwrite you to agency guidelines, which will not allow them to finance you in the LLC. But if you're in a private bank, they typically know they're going to keep your loan on their balance sheet, and they're not going to sell it in the secondary market to somebody. And because of that, they can get a little bit more creative. They'll allow you to put it in there. Now, typically speaking, LLC ownership for a property is a commercial real estate structure. They know this is an investment property. It's going to have passive income for you, or some type of income for you. If you're a business owner, a great way that you can structure this is your business Widget Incorporated that makes widgets has cash flow coming in, but you need a building for Widget Incorporated to be in. You could actually buy the building under Widget LLC and then have Widget LLC rent the property to Widget Incorporated, and then you can write off your rent that you're paying to yourself. That's a very common owner-occupied LLC structure. Now, when you're buying a home for yourself, you don't have the same benefit, at least not without consulting your CPA and figuring out if that may or may not work for your structure. But most people aren't going to have that. I don't think buying an LLC for your first property is a good idea, or using an LLC to buy your first property is a good idea. Now, what I do think it's a good idea is if you're looking for a little bit of protection and you want to be pragmatic and thoughtful about where you buy your property, how you buy your property, buy it under a trust.
Mm-hmm. Something that we've talked about on the show before.
There's no reason why you can't do that. All agency lenders typically allow you to do that. It gives you the same level of protection that you would normally get. Now, the tax basis may not be the same, but you may not need that anyway because it's a primary owner-occupied property.
Why does it give you the same level of protection?
Because a trust, as long as you don't, violate or pierce the corporate veil, if you will, or violate the terms of the trust, is an entity which protects your assets from your own personal liability.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind, a trust, whether revocable or irrevocable, has implications. You have to abide by the terms of the trust, meaning that you can't do things outside of the trustee relationship that you have set up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people think that you have to have a trust that's like the John Smith Revocable Family Trust.
Okay.
You can name your trust whatever you want. As a matter of fact, my trust does not name my name in it because I don't want people to be able to find me by Googling it, searching it.
Right.
So that's one way to do it. When you start off, that's what I recommend doing if you're going to put it into anything. Put it into a trust. Typically speaking, most lenders will say put it in your individual name and then transfer it to your trust contemporaneous with closing of your loan.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to start. Once you build a portfolio where you're approaching 10 loans under your personal name, if you ever get there, God willing, knock on wood, whatever you want to do,
right?
Then guess what? Then you have to start being creative about putting stuff in LLCs, paying them off, getting commercial credit. But know that when you go that route, you typically get 3, 5, 7-year fixed. You don't get 15-year, 30-year fixed product, which pays down over time. So it's a very different mentality.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot there to unpack. We did some previous episodes which broke this down a little bit. There's the ultimate guide to buying a home, I think, which is really, really early on. I want to say in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a couple of episodes that talked a lot about home buying, which you can also find if you go back and search the catalog.
Right.
That was a lot. I know. I'm sorry.
Let him cook.
Yeah,
Let him cook.
Look, he's back. He's happy now.
Aw.
Pumpkin.
There you go.
What's going on? Why are you so,
What do you mean? What's going on?
You're very rigid tonight.
Who's very rigid?
You're very stiff.
We're talking about favorite movies earlier. What are you talking about?
Why do the hip thing, the shoulder, like?
Why are
thing?
you mad?
Why are you mad?
Want to talk about it?
Why are you mad?
Yeah, what's going on?
No, nothing's going on.
Show me on this cup where I touched you.
Well done. So this from The Real Deal. Silicon Valley office vacancy jumps to 17% as tech firms shed floors. I mean, this should have been brought in a little bit earlier, but
I didn't think that was such a sensational number, the 17%.
You didn't think so? I find this like challenging for them though. Like, okay, so these are their own properties, their own headquarters, their own buildings. How is this ever going to recover?
Have you seen some of these headquarters? Fuck, man, they're massive.
Well, I have a really close friend that works for Meta, and he's like itching to take me to see them the headquarters.
Have you been to One Hacker Way and that stuff?
No.
Oh my God! So I've been.
But is it the same now that they've openly admitted they've given up so many perks?
I don't know what I haven't been there since they gave up the perks, but I've been there when they had them, and just the sheer campus size is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I mean, they are massive campuses. Imagine like driving or riding your bike through all these like greens and hills and everything else, and buildings on every side, and all those buildings are coworkers. There's like commissaries. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy during its peak. I will say this: as much as this is sensational to me, I got to tell you that my bigger, I'm still trying to find where reality is.
Okay.
We were distracted. This whole Titan submarine thing distracted us from a lot of real things that were going on in the world, and I'm blown away that I missed that this was not an internet meme thing. That Elon Musk and the Zucks. They're really going to fight.
Is it really going to go down?
That Elon Musk was training with Lex Fridman today. Friedman.
Yeah. Well, Lex Fridman is a black belt.
He was training with Lex Fridman.
But your boy, Zuck,
He's a legit like jiu-jitsu fighter.
like he's like a yellow belt. He's won tournaments.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna serve Elon serve his ass on a silver
And
platter.
these guys have talked shit for like years. Like he said that Zuckerberg was an idiot and didn't understand AI.
I got my money on Zuck. Being honest.
I look at Zuck and I'm like, he's in shape.
Mm-hmm.
He's younger. He might look a little goofy and weird, but it doesn't mean it can't mess you up.
I mean, I feel like with Elon, if Elon's training just to fight this, Zuck is passionate about this.
And he's been doing it for a minute.
I think he's just picked up over the last couple of years. Honestly, I know that
The last couple of years is better than Lex Fridman. Can you
I think Odin, look this up, please. I think Elon has been secretly training too, just maybe not as consistent as Zuck.
You just said Elon's been secretly trading, but you want to have him look it up and see if it's on the internet?
I think I'm just saying.
That's a terrible secret.
No, no, but I think he wasn't, and it got leaked. Odin, did you find anything?
Nope.
Nope, not yet.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think he.
And that man is a master at finding things quick. So I got to tell you right now.
GSP offered to train Elon Musk.
Damn, that's fucked up. Why do you hate Zuckerberg that much?
I think people just don't like his face. Like, he has a very hateable face. You ever notice that? I think his haircut has no style. He's very, like...
That matters,
he's
right?
very
like,
bland.
Like, do they... CEOs of this size, are they, like, getting coached on, like, style and appearance? And does it matter? Or is someone just like, fuck, I don't give a fuck.
I think some are, some aren't. I don't think Zuck cares.
I mean, I feel like they could have chose some better pictures of these two. Some of the hand gestures that they're making are a little inappropriate.
I don't know. What are you referencing?
I mean, the comments say it all. Go ahead, read the comments.
What do the comments say?
Go ahead, scroll down, Odin. Right.
Cancel AI and chat GPT.
When I was on it earlier, they were all saying they couldn't have picked.
Whoa. Listen to this guy's
photos?
comment. Cancel AI and chat GPT. Don't use it unless you want to be out of a job. Yeah, that isn't going to stop the technology from rolling out, Chief.
Yeah.
Office is essential and important for business. Also a genius
But
comment.
we talked about on the show that we don't think it's going to be that as big of a phenomenon.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley vacancy is
Oh, yeah,
up
there
to
you go.
35%.
Out of all the images of Sundar, you chose this one.
I think Sundar looks pretty dope, man.
Does he? I would
mean-
not. Yeah, maybe not here.
His arm is just in a weird position, that's all.
I mean,
I don't
Zuck's too. Why both of them?
I don't understand what you're referencing.
Come on, man.
Can you explain it to me? What's the reference? I don't get it.
Everyone can go look it up. I'm not saying it. This is terrible.
What's so terrible about it?
No. Oh, you see this?
What?
You and I briefly had a discussion about this. We're pretty late into the show, but we can cover it pretty quickly. Oh man,
I don't know what you're talking about.
And I forgot to bring this in too. Corporate defaults rose last month. This based from a CNBC article. High interest rates and economic uncertainty are behind the recent rise in corporate defaults. Corporate defaults rose last month, with 41 in the U.S. so far this year. That's more than double the same period last year, according to Moody's.
Want to explain what a corporate default is, Chief?
No, tell me.
I don't know.
Are they defaulting on their debts?
Sounds like that's what you're referencing. But
That's what I'm referencing. Odin, scroll down a little bit more, please. Over there, yeah. Companies are defaulting on their debt.
why'd you ask me when you're right there in the article?
Yeah, I want to see if you know. Come on. Companies are defaulting on their debt due to uncertain economic conditions and heavy debt loads. High interest rates have made it difficult to refinance as debt is more expensive. So nothing that we haven't talked about on the show, but we mentioned this. We mentioned this maybe almost a year ago this time, that defaults, bankruptcies, delinquencies, all this stuff's going to be on the rise.
You know what we got wrong, though?
What did we get wrong?
Why are you looking you in the face? We make mistakes for humans.
I want you to know that it was both of us. Not me.
I said what we got wrong. Dude, you're being real off tonight, bro.
Don't do this.
Your wrist is real off, man.
Did you just wink at me?
Your vibe is off, King. I don't know what you're doing right now. We said a year ago that we expected this to happen, but I expected it to happen in the consumer space before we saw it more in the corporate space, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is surprising to me to see that companies are seeing the impacts before the consumer is. That's a trip.
Well, so let's see. Corporate loans, right? Corporate credit is at an all-time high, over 10 trillion. Okay.
Just like consumer credit, all-time high.
Maybe 10.5 trillion. Okay, all-time high. Consumer credit, 17 trillion.
Mhm.
U.S. government debt, 32 trillion.
They can thank the Fed funds rate and the FOMC for that because their
right.
rates got jacked like ours did.
So how do we get to this point?
The FOMC did it.
FOMC by making the Fed funds rate damn near 0%, right? Making it free to borrow money, right?
For a long, long ass time.
And people took advantage of that. And I think what people don't understand is
Took advantage. No, they were brainwashed by it. Like those realtors we were talking on the Real Deal article.
Right.
They legitimately do not understand that if your solution to this whole crisis is rates going down, we were already at the floor, man.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't work in this economy. Stop.
So I can't remember the article that I was reading, and I didn't put it in the show notes. I'll try to find it and put it on the next one. But what the article said was that what we've also started experiencing is all-time highs of levered corporate stock buybacks.
Yeah. I see that.
And that is really, really dangerous, right? Because every time a company buys back their stock, what is it signaling to the markets?
They believe in their company.
They believe in their
Strength,
company.
yeah.
But when you're doing that with borrowed money, that
again,
poses a real risk, man.
I don't think we've ever talked about this in the show, but I should point out, anytime you see somebody doing like a stock buyback or paying off sub debt or any of the stuff that you see out there is traditionally a good thing, you always got to look into it a little heavier, because the accounting rules, as much as we think they're super tight,
right,
there are things like that which can be done, which gives you the perception of strength, but really are just moving pieces of the puzzle around in different areas in the same board. It's not really solving any problems. It's just giving the optics of solving problems.
And I don't want to be the doom and gloom guy.
You are that guy.
I am, but I mean, I just stay up at night thinking about all the bad scenarios.
Well, you've been kind of in a bad mood this whole show.
So look at here.
Look at here.
Look
at here.
Look at here. The government has one source of income,
This is why I tried to call you sugar. I thought it'd brighten you up.
The government has one source of income.
I called you sugar pie. You said nothing.
Okay.
I got no response.
Our taxes, right?
I will tax something tonight.
Taxes, corporate taxes, right? Everything else, they get their money from bonds and treasuries and all that. Okay.
Yeah.
So if unemployment is expected to go up, what does that mean? Less revenue made by individuals, less taxes to be paid. Government's revenue goes down. Corporate profits go down, less taxes to be made. The government is already overspending by $2 trillion a year.
Trillions on trillions. There's a lot of trillion talk tonight.
God damn, a lot of trillions.
A lot of trillions.
Government is already spending over $2 trillion a year, having to borrow more, increasing their overall debt.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is right.
What's going to happen when what's going to happen when their revenue comes down? Now it's going to be $3 trillion.
They're going to raise that debt ceiling again. That's what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah, number 80.
Yeah.
You think we're still going to be around when they raise it the 80th time?
Yeah, in a week.
I know.
It's going to happen faster and faster now. We talking about still be around.
It's going to be up in a year.
It's going to be like a year, yeah. Elizabeth Warren going to be the first. You didn't know we had to raise it a year later?
I call her Liz from now on. Liz.
Lizzie Warren?
Lizzie. Yeah. Lizzie.
Yeah.
You know what you want to go.
No.
You know what you and I both thought it.
I didn't think a damn thing. You're nasty.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Lizzie with the glizzy.
Whoa. She calls it Jerome Powell.
It's late, kids.
Look, that's the first time you smile all episode. This is called happiness. I'm glad you're experiencing it for the first time tonight.
I swear, Odun calling me out as the villain really makes me second guess everything I want to say.
You've been off, man. Hey, Arun, do me a favor, real quick.
Out of fear of being called the villain.
Come on in, Dr. Smooth. Can you at least co-sign me? I'm not over exaggerating, right? Said's been in a different funk, right? He's been funky.
Halfway through the show, something happened.
Yeah, you just like
it was like a trigger. He's
your
like
butthole clenched up, and you just didn't want to you didn't want to go.
Stays clenched. I don't know what you're talking about.
You were just completely ignoring me, going right back. You were looking
straight shade.
Yeah, you threw shade my way. Thank you very much for making it articulate too.
Come on, man. I'm
just saying. I was trying to talk to you. You're looking at the screen the whole time, butthole clenched up tight.
Mm-hmm.
Swear to God, you're making a diamond in there. Like, what's going on?
Always make diamonds, under pressure.
Don't feel like that kind of that's cliche.
What?
Yeah,
no, that's cliche.
He gave you throw shade, and then you're like, "Oh, let's make diamonds under pressure."
Come on, man. Anyways,
what's going on, man? What's going on? What's wrong?
What happened?
What happened halfway through the show? This mic's gonna turn off.
Yeah.
Those lights are gonna turn green, and you're gonna be like, "You son of a bitch! You did X, Y, Z." Just air it out, man. Let's go.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Did something happen?
What happened?
Nothing happened.
Pumpkin.
Boy, tired, man.
Called you sugar pie. Called you sugar. Called you pumpkin.
No, man. Summer schedule, honestly, nothing's happened on the show, but just thinking about how exhausted I am, summer schedule for the kids is exhausting, man. It's exhausting.
You do a lot for the kids.
I do a lot for the kids, and try to do it with a smile on my face so they don't feel it. So it's extra draining.
So you come here and don't give me the smile.
You don't deserve the smile, man.
I feel
Not
like I
as
deserve
much.
a smile all the time.
Not after the energy levels you gave me last week.
I'm sorry. I was on like 16 antibiotics
Not good enough for me.
and
No,
a steroid.
I didn't know you make excuses.
I'm not making excuses. I
Sounds
still
like-
came.
sounds
I
like excuses to
performed.
me.
Goddammit.
You did not perform.
We watched that show last night. Not a single person was like, "Chris, you look sick." They're like, "You look sick, dog."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
dope.
You call
Yeah,
that
because I
perform?
had the camera on Saied the whole time.
You did. I noticed that in the edits, and I appreciate you. He literally gave it to me. He's like, "I didn't really have the camera on you at all," and I'm like, "Yeah, good call,
Yeah.
good call." The whole time, literally, like maybe 45 minutes in the show, this is what I was doing. Oh, please stop talking.
Just get us out of here.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we could go on and on till the end of time, but obviously, I know there's only a certain limit to which all of you can tolerate Saeed's bad.
Oh, by the way,
Bad
so
riz.
Damn,
tomorrow
cuts you off like that.
We weren't
too.
ending the show at all there,
Holy-
Chief.
tomorrow is Chris's birthday.
So,
How old you turning?
like,
Is it-
stuff.
It's 11:37 now. Could you just wish you a happy birthday now?
June 28th, everyone.
June 28th, 1980. Do the math.
Yeah. Do the math.
Yeah. I can literally say 20 years ago, I remember X, and at that point in time, I was still drinking alcohol.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. I think about death every day.
Yeah. Oh,
Every time I read about like articles on like like health issues and scares, people having strokes and shit, like a Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Jamie Foxx, but I want that motherfucker to come back stronger than shit.
Yeah, no, you're not. What I've gathered over the last like 10 years or so is you're not really big on birthdays.
Me?
Yeah, for yourself.
I hate birthdays.
For yourself, you're not. Others,
For me.
others,
For other people, I love celebrating. For me, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I've never liked birthdays. I've always felt incredibly awkward.
What happened there?
I also don't like looking at myself in the mirror. I also don't think that I'm attractive.
No,
Swear to God.
no, not looking at yourself in the mirror. You look at yourself in the mirror all the time. Don't lie.
No,
to
because
people.
because I
All
never
that
feel
work.
I never feel attractive.
You said all that work.
All that work? No, all that surgery. You mean? The Botox, the hair transplant. It takes a lot to build this faux jawline.
Are you gonna grow back the beard?
I have to. I don't have a jawline, dude. I've got like this. I've got like a little layer of fat there you don't see if I don't see it. Something like that. But yeah, I don't have a jaw.
Yeah.
I shaved the beard off and I immediately regretted it. It's like, shit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, do I go to the like razor straight face it? And I'm like,
No,
nah.
no.
Wow.
I would know.
What's wrong with my real face,
It's
bro?
terrible, bro. I'm telling you. To be honest, I can't either. I can't either. It's okay. Some things we just gotta accept.
That's hurtful.
It was meant to be.
It worked.
Yeah. So happy early birthday to you.
On my birthday.
What are you buying me?
I think I'm buying my wife dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Wow. So
Yeah,
you can.
We're
so,
not
so,
showing that.
Wow. Oh. Is this on Google or where is this?
Yeah, he googled my name and then went to images. It looks like.
Oh wow! Look at you all over the internet.
I am all over the
Is that you right there, the blue piggy?
That's me. I wrote that article.
Damn! Look how young you were here.
You fucker. That was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
You mean how skinny I was?
Yes.
You're a dick.
We both got to get back on it again.
I was going to. I was doing quite well actually, and then I got sick, and then
Yeah.
I just
Very,
downhill.
very Jeff.
Jeff Goldblumish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going for that vibe there. It's actually a mid-century modern house. That was a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Shout out to everybody that supports the show. It's a picture of you.
I search Chris and Hugo comes up.
Hey man,
Hey,
I keep my guys in check. You know what I mean?
there you
You
go.
search me, you will find them.
Shout out to everyone that supports the show. If you haven't yet, please do us a huge favor and go over to Apple or Spotify. Leave us an honest 5-star review. Really helps out the show, and we appreciate it a lot.
And wish Chris a happy birthday.
Wish Chris happy
Or
birthday.
better still, go to YouTube, subscribe, create a YouTube account, and then subscribe. I don't care what you got to do. Subscribe, goddammit.
Yeah, and hit that bell.
I need
Notifications
love.
on.
Yeah.
All of them.
Alert. The bell and the subscribe are the same, right?
No, subscribe, then you got to hit the bell and select all for notifications
I'm glad you clarified.
for everybody. And leave a comment down below.
Yeah.
I doubt they're still here.
Hit him. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. You ready?
Yeah.
You're calling me out.
All right, let's go. Go ahead. Say goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.